The next trend is about what we call emotional interfaces. And really thinking about it, there's two key angles to this. One is that the big story is the interface is going to become more emotional over the next few years. And we're going to really see this begin to break out this year. There's really two angles to this. One is that our emotions will be read more often and more frequently. In fact, they hardly are at all at the moment. We will increasingly see examples of our emotions being detected by interfaces, or what we think of as interfaces. And the second thing is that we will see more emotion coming back at us in the design of those interfaces and the way in which we interact with them. So this is, if you like, almost the design trend, if you like, or the most pure design trend of all the trends we're talking about this year. We've become very used since digital began to, or since computing began really, to a very transactional relationship with them. And almost to some extent with each other through computers, with very little range of extra information. Emoticons, as they used to be called, I'll come back to what they're called now in a moment, but emoticons, if you like, were a very interesting early attempt for people to inject body language into email.
With emoticons, we're just talking about colon / brackets or whatever it might
smiley
be.
faces,
Yes,
whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But just using punctuation marks in order to create a sense of body language. You know, the raised eyebrow is irony, you know, and you know, we actually had thousands of years of letter writing, and we never cracked that one until computers came along, and then we began to encode irony into letters. So, but what we're seeing now is a whole new palette apart from the keyboard coming to us, and that palette is sensors, social media, synthetic materials which can detect how we feel, and very importantly, and not much observed so far, new design philosophies. So a growing awareness that design philosophy matters a great deal. And we've seen that as people, a lot of people working in digital and outside that have become familiar with the shift that Apple made from skeuomorphic to flat design. And now this last year we've seen Google publish quite a manifesto on what they call material design. And if you look into the weeds of what material design is about, a lot of it is about actually introducing much more fluidity, much more emotion, if you like, as we would say, into the interface. And then the last thing that is happening is speed. So as a result of all of these things, we're seeing that a more visual and expressive design language is beginning to emerge and will emerge over the very near future. And that, I think, to cut a long story short, I think has a big impact on brands because they have to now think very hard about their digital personalities.